Tonight, 18 of the best 54 beys will be put to the test. Rookies and veterans alike will be looking for their first win, or to extend their lead to eventually get into the top 32 on BattleBeys Season 2. Hello everybody and welcome back to BattleBeys. Tonight we got a lot more great fights for you, so let's get right into them. We start off with Pisces versus Inferno Byxis, both looking for their first win. Then we've got Fang Eonis versus Diablo Nemesis X, Cosmic Pegasus versus Rock Bull, and Virgo versus Flame Byxis. Afterwards we follow that up with Grand Capricorn versus Cyclone Aquario, and that's bound to be a good fight. Then it's Earthly versus Diablo Nemesis. Our penultimate fight is Horuseus versus Blitz Unicorno, and then our highlight, Flame Gemios versus Gravity Perseus. And of course, our main event is Blitz Unicorno versus Jade Jupiter, so make sure to stick around because you don't want to miss that. And so, our opening matchup is Pisces versus Inferno Byxis. Both of these beys are currently 0-1 and will be looking for that first victory. Of course, we've got pre-hybrid wheel Pisces, who came off of a very close loss to Rock Libra in an epic first battle, and will now be looking for a victory. It's a pre-hybrid wheel base, so that of course means that it doesn't have a clear wheel. It's also the only one in the competition, and that sets it apart. And it'll be looking for that win, but that won't be easy because its opponent is the man, the myth, the legend, Inferno Byxis. Inferno Byxis came off of a loss in a hard-fought battle against Capricorn, but its success, of course, has been that broken RS. And here's a fun fact of Inferno Byxis: the team actually did bring a completely repaired version, as you can see here, but in the end it turned out that the broken one just worked better. And in this case, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well then, let the bey battle begin! Pisces starting off in the center. Here comes Byxis with a small hit early on, but now circling Pisces. Byxis, of course, circling ironically like a shark. However, now it's coming into the center, getting some hits on Pisces. Pisces taking those hits though for now, but Byxis take control, throwing Pisces up in the air. Pisces unbalanced, Byxis taking advantage! Well, that fight didn't have much going on in the early stage, but once Byxis got into the center, it started throwing Pisces around, and then managed to end this fight with a slam dunk KO. Now, you may be wondering, what will happen to these two? Well, Pisces is currently in an 0-2 pit that's gonna be difficult to get out of. However, for Inferno Byxis, that 1-1 is definitely salvageable, especially with a good win. And so, on to our second fight of the night between Fang Eonis and Diablo Nemesis X. Both of these share an 0-1 record and will be eager to go 0-2. First up, Fang Eonis, certainly doing better than last season where it only went 1-2, but it already started season off with a win against Rock Bull this time, and would love to keep that momentum going. Of course, Fang Eonis' metal wheel, which originally was a hollow Hasbro one, has been replaced with a 4D one, and it looks like they're going with their attack mode again. Meanwhile, Diablo Unicorno, former top 32 competitor, going 2-2 last season, losing to El Drago Rush. However, it started its season off strong, beating Cosmic Pegasus, and also would love to keep that momentum going. A win here could probably secure its spot in the top 32, and Team Unicorno will be looking to capitalize. Well then, let the bey battle begin. Down comes Unicorno, and here comes Eonis. Eonis immediately with a big hit on Unicorno, now circling, look for another one. And there it is, another big hit from Eonis. It needs to keep that up. Burn, of course. Not a lot of defense, so Eonis does have the power to throw it around with that attack mode. And hopefully get a KO or drain that wheel enough, because Burn definitely has more stamina. Both beys now fighting for the middle. Fang Eonis winning that exchange due to being a bit heavier, but it also has less stamina, so it's going to be a match of endurance from now on. Oh, Eonis slowing down, wobbling a little, and that is bad because Eonis has that R145 sprint track, which basically drives to a halt if it hits the arena. And look at that, it's wobbling even more. Oh, this is bad. Can Unicorno finish it off? And there it goes. Down it goes. Well, Eonis certainly had some big hits early on, throwing around Unicorno, but was unable to get that crucial KO. And from that point on, Unicorno just took control of the fight, being able to take the hits and then using its superior stamina to take down Eonis. Well then, let's take a look at where this leaves these two competitors in terms of the bracket. Fang Eonis 1-1, definitely recoverable if they get a good third fight, and meanwhile, Unicorno's win here tonight has probably secured them a spot in the bracket. And so we already reached our third fight of the night, Cosmic Pegasus versus Rock Bull. Both these beys are currently 0-1 and will be looking for that first win. Let's start with Cosmic Pegasus, one hell of a destructive bey, almost able to KO the reigning champion in their first fight. However, somehow Twisted Tempo found a way to get back into the stadium. In that fight, they also did this to the arena with their new config, so that's why they're switching back to their Season 1 look. However, it's not entirely unchanged as they have switched performance tip. The main reason for this is they wanted to prevent self-KOs, which was the reason why they lost in 2 fights already. If they can fix that, this will be a dangerous competitor. On the other side, we have Rock Bull, which hasn't really done anything notable in its career so far, losing its first fight to Fang Eonis by sleep out. The mid-height attacker will certainly be looking for some revenge, because the loss here could be detrimental to its season. I wish I had anything to say here, but it's Rock Bull. What else is there really to say? Well then, let the bey battle begin. Which one of these two is gonna get their career back on track to get into the top 32? There comes Pegasus out of the arena, but there it goes again. Well, that was over before it really began. Pegasus just shoving Bull out of the arena. Bull comes back in, and Pegasus shoves it right back out. Well, that fight may have just been a death sentence for one of these two, mainly Rock Bull, which is now 0-2, and probably unlikely to recover that for this season. Meanwhile, Cosmic Pegasus 1-1 with a loss to the champ, one more good win, and they can definitely secure themselves a high seed. And so we've already reached our fourth fight tonight, Virgo versus Flame Byxis. Both of these will be looking for that 2-0 record. Virgo actually got its first career victory in its previous fight against Jade Jupiter. And getting that first victory certainly isn't nothing. It's an important step to reaching the top 32 if they keep that momentum going. Their spin track makes them especially stable in battle. But will that be enough to combat Flame Byxis? Speaking of which, Flame Byxis, there's a reason this bey was a top 3 seed last time around. It actually got awfully close to losing to Samurai Pegasus, but managed to survive and pull through. Flame Byxis, of course, its strength is its spin track, its height, the 230. The 230 is way taller than a normal spin track, as seen here. That's a 145, the same height of Virgo. This height allows it to avoid attacks and destabilize from above until their opponents fall to the ground. Well then, let the bey battle begin. There's Byxis and there's Virgo. This is definitely gonna be a battle of stabilization and lack thereof. Byxis currently circling Virgo. Virgo in the center. Virgo making first contact here. Actually able to destabilize Byxis. Virgo, of course, can sit in the middle for hours. It's a stamina type. It can afford that. Byxis, not so much. Byxis, however, striking back with few shots. Every shot on that clear wheel's doing more damage to Virgo than to Byxis. And you have to imagine what the forces do too. Every single time Byxis connects, it's pushing Virgo down. And even with that gravity ball spin track, That's gotta affect your balance at some point. And here we see Virgo also. Ooh, Virgo definitely losing that balance now, with Byxis also losing balance. It's gonna be which one hits the floor first, because that one is definitely gonna lose. Virgo going lower and lower. Byxis closer and closer to that triangle pattern. But it's Virgo restabilizing, however, it doesn't seem to be enough as Virgo goes down. Well, Virgo started that battle off well, actually destabilizing Byxis. But from that point on, Byxis was able to affect the balance of Virgo enough and drain enough stamina to be able to take it down and walk away with the victory. Well, let's see where this leaves these two competitors. Virgo, 1-1. Definitely could bounce back from that, especially with loss to a bay like Flame Byxis. Speaking of which, Flame Byxis already has secured its spot in the bracket and will be looking for a top seed. Well, we've already reached our 5th fight tonight. Grand Capricorn versus Cyclone Aquario. Both are 1-0 and will be looking to go 2-0. First up, we got the GOAT of Metal Fight Beyblade. It's Grand Capricorn. Coming off a great fight against Unicorno in the last round, which could be considered one of the best fights of the season so far. Of course, having that aggressive D-tip is its secret, and going 2-0 here will probably guarantee it a good spot in the bracket. But that's not going to be easy, as its opponent is Cyclone Aquario. For those who haven't watched his last fight, Cyclone Aquario holds the record of the fastest KO in BattleBeys history, getting rid of Orion in less than a second. It's also got the weight advantage, so it will be hoping to do the same to Grand Capricorn tonight. If it wants to win, it has to. Well, let's see which one of these two will go 2-0. Let the Bay battle begin. Aquario immediately with some good hits, throwing Capricorn around, almost out of the arena. However, Capricorn surviving now. Oh, a bit of circling from Aquario, but it does sound like it's done some major damage. Capricorn spinning slowly, and it sounds like it's coming undone. However, if it can keep it together, that rubber flat is slowly losing stamina, and I think it's going to be the first one down. Yes, it is. Well, I gotta give it to Aquario. Some good hits early on. Almost got Capricorn out of the arena. However, Capricorn came back with a vengeance, and even though it sounded like it was coming apart, it was able to take the hits, and then the superior stamina of that defense performance tip was able to outlast Aquario's rubber flats. And with that, I think that leaves both of these in a pretty good position. Cyclone Aquario has put up a great show in both its fights, and one more good one definitely gives it a good spot. And Grand Capricorn has all but guaranteed its own. And so we have already reached our 6th fight tonight. It's Earth Eagle versus Diablo Nemesis. Let me start on Earth Eagle, a bay which you could argue got robbed last season is back with a vengeance. Beating Korea Sickness dominantly in a highlighted fight, it's finally getting a chance to shine in the spotlight. And you may notice that Earth Eagle may look a little different from last season. That's because last season they ran their Gangan Galaxy color scheme, and this time they've gone back to the Metal Fusion one. But they're gonna need any help they can get against Diablo Nemesis. Now, if you've missed Diablo Nemesis last fight, let me show it right here. It absolutely ruined Volcanorodium, just throwing it around and throwing it out. Now, Diablo Nemesis is 24 grams heavier, and it will use that in its favor to hopefully throw that weight around and throw Eagle out of the arena. Well, without further ado, let the Bay battle begin. There is Eagle, and there's Diablo. You can immediately hear all that weight just shaking around the arena. Oh, I'm almost taking out Eagle immediately. That weight certainly coming into play here. 24 grams heavier. That is not nothing. Almost out of the arena again. Eagle holding on. In theory, Eagle should have more stamina if it came down to that. Another big hit by Diablo. But anyway, Eagle should have more stamina. However, that Diablo wheel can drain That weight difference is substantial enough to be able to take away a lot of stamina from Earth Eagle. Speaking of which, both are looking to be slowing down a bit, with Diablo is of course more visible, but Eagle is also starting to wobble more. Staying into the arena though, that could be its advantage, however it's wobbling even more. Both of these tips have life after death, so that could be very interesting. As Diablo slows down even more, it's more visible, but trust me, Eagle is taking a lot of damage in every exchange. Oh, both wobbling now, Diablo hitting the floor! Well, that fight ended in a very special way. Diablo starting off early with some big hits, throwing his weight around, throwing Eagle around too. But afterwards, it became a battle of stamina, and in the end, the life after death from XD gave it the victory. Now, that's gonna leave these two in a very interesting situation. Earth Eagle, of course, 1-1, could bring it back with another victory. While Diablo Nemesis has all but guaranteed its spot with that dominant win over Horuseus and another big win tonight. And now we have reached our penultimate fight of the night. Horuseus versus Forbidden Unicorno. Let me start on Horuseus, a bait that had an excellent opening fight against Lightning Eldrago, even forcing a double KO in his first battle. However, in the rematch, it was on the wrong end of the KO, getting knocked out by the top 4 competitor. However, of course, its strength is in that rubber sharp performance tip, allowing it to stay planted to the floor, take hits, and deal out massive damage with that Hell Wheel. Speaking of massive damage, here is a bait that has received quite a few already. It's Forbidden Unicorno. Forbidden Unicorno got thrown around in his first fight, almost literally, and is looking to bounce back here. Of course, its unique factor is that it's got that Forbidden Wheel, and it's the only Bey with a Forbidden Wheel in the tournament. But can it make a difference in this fight? Well, I'd expect an explosive battle. Let the Bey battle begin. There's Horuseus, and there is Unicorn already a bit thrown around. A massive hit there by Horuseus. Horuseus now in the center. Unicorn now looking for an angle. Well, it's getting thrown around and it has stopped. Well, that was all Horuseus really, just throwing around Unicorno with some massive hits. Out of the arena almost, but it bounces back in with another hit, and then just scraping to a halt. Well then, that leaves these two in some pretty interesting positions. Horuseus has made quite an impact in its two fights. Even if it loses this last one, it'll probably get in. Meanwhile, Forbidden Unicorno has kind of just been a train wreck this season, but at least it's been entertaining. And now, before we get to our main event, it's time for the highlighted fight of the night. Flame Gemios versus Gravity Perseus. Flame Gemios currently 1-0 after a nice win against Evil Scorpios, certainly hoping to keep the momentum going. Meanwhile, Gravity Perseus going with their defense combo, looking to bounce back from an 0-1 start, losing in spectacular fashion to Vulcan Horuseus. The fight mostly started with some circling from Gravity Perseus, getting a few good hits in. But after that, it basically became a battle of spin stealing and life after death. And with that white defense, it was Perseus that took the victory. Gravity Perseus is now 1-1, and with a good win, could definitely get a spot in the bracket. The same can be said for Flame Gemios, which is currently also in a nice spot. And now it's time for the main event. It's Blitz Unicorno versus Jade Jupiter. Of course, we've got the king of kinetic energy, Blitz Unicorno. It's weird seeing this Bey at 0-1 until you realize who it fought. It had a great opening against Eldrago Rush. However, afterwards, Rush was able to drive Blitz to the edge and get it out of the arena. Blitz Unicorno will certainly be back with a vengeance in this fight with that Blitz wheel, which is one of the most dangerous wheels in Metal Fight. And losing here is not an option. which is especially dangerous for our rookie. It's Jade Jupiter. Jade Jupiter sadly lost its opening bout against our Virgo in a hard counter. Stamina versus defense, not going to go well. Of course, it's got that Jade metal wheel, but its strength in this fight is going to be that rubber ball performance tip. Made out of rubber, it's flat, it's low, it has a lot of grip on the stadium, providing it a lot of defense, and it's going to need that against Blitz Unicorno. I have also polled the community on who they would think would win, and even though it went back and forth, in the end, Blitz Unicorno has 52% of the vote. Make sure to keep an eye out in there if you want to vote on things in the future. And now, without further ado, let the main event begin. They're going to blitz immediately with some good hits on Jade. Jade taking them well though. That rubber ball doing exactly what they want. Blitz looking for an opening. A massive shot there. Now, can it finish the job? Yes, it can. Well, honestly, first I want to give some props to Jade for surviving that early barrage. We know how hard Blitz can hit, and being able to take many of those hits to the face is pretty impressive for a rookie. However, after this massive shot right there, Jade started to significantly slow down, allowing Blitz to take advantage and eventually take it down. And after such a fight, you gotta be wondering, where does that leave these two off? Well, Jade sadly is in the 0-2 pit, but maybe with a good win, they can bring it back. Meanwhile, Blitz Unicorno, although it's 1-1, it had a very impressive loss, and with that win, it probably secured itself a spot in the bracket. And that's gonna be it for this time, but make sure to tune in next time, because in the coming 3 episodes, the seedings will be decided by their final fight. Which competitors will make it, which competitors will break it, and which competitors will sneak in at the bottom. Make sure to keep watching to find out. Comment if you enjoyed it, like if you did as well, and I will see y'all later.